everybody, this is Tom here with another Transformers review. This is the Oversized KO Leodux. I just received the entire set from Toys in the mail today, and I decided to do these rather than an entire video that's super long. I decided to do them in a separate type of review where we'll do each figure at a time and then we'll do a combined mode one, only because these actually, I think, warrant a full review for each figure. They are almost identical to the Mastermind's Creation versions. They are extremely articulated. The only thing, like most of the figures, are lacking is the wrist swivel, but they're fantastic. The plastic quality is the best out of any KO that I've ever had. So, without further ado, we're going to get into articulation with this guy. Actually, first we're going to look at the accessories, and after that, then we'll get into articulation. Okay, so as far as the accessories are concerned, he comes with this shield, which is also the crotch plate for when he's in the combined mode. You can store it on his back, or you can have it on his arm like I just had in the first shot. But to get it to the point where you can store it again, you just kind of have to pop it apart. There's these bumps right here, which are actually ports. So you just kind of spin it around, get this to fold back up. So you get this to fold back up just like this. And then it pops back into place. Then it's good to go back on his back. And that just stores back behind him on the back. And then he comes with these two swords, which are massive on their own, but they come apart and then they combine to be used in the combined Feral Rex mode, and so that's part of the blade for the combined Feral Rex mode. So this sword is exactly the same thing, and now this is a part for the sword and also for the tail in Lion mode. So it comes apart. It's kind of tight. They did a good job. The tolerances are fantastic on this thing. But so these are the two pieces that he comes with. He comes with this one. They go together, and they help make the tail in Lion mode. And then these pieces are also used for the sword itself, and then also in Lion mode as well. Okay, so we're going to get to articulation. For articulation, we have in the arms, he can go all the way out to here. They rotate at what would be the upper bicep, I believe. They have an elbow. They also have another point of articulation in here. Up in here, there's a point of articulation, but it's you lock it for robot mode. That way, you only get the elbow, so it doesn't cause any issues. It would rotate all the way around. It actually does rotate all the way around, but this combiner port up here tends to get in the way a little bit. So that's not really an issue, but that's pretty much it. There is no wrist swivel, unfortunately. He does have a little bit of like a bend on the wrist, but that's about it. The mane doesn't articulate like on the other set. The head is on a ball joint. He can look up, he can look down. It's great. These guns back here are also articulated. You can bring them up like that. And then the other arm is exactly the same as the other side. No articulation again in the wrist. But the paint is pretty good. It's well applied. The paint in the face is really good. I don't know if you guys can see the face. The face sculpt's actually almost identical. It's really good. I'm used to, like, with the OS Uranos, they just butchered the faces on those. Those look nothing like what they should. So to continue on, the legs, if you move the hip skirt out of the way, will go all the way out to here. They both will go all the way straight, so you can have them perfectly straight. The knees get you just short. Oh, they're pretty much a 90. The toes on this one don't articulate like on the MMC one. They do have the spur here, but he has a lot harder of a time. If you can see, he has a lot harder of a time standing because of that. It actually forces him to lean forward. That's the foot for his beast mode, and then that's the issue. Kind of leans him forward, if you can see. So he's kind of leaning forward right now. That's a little bit of a bummer. So I haven't been using those. You can still use them if you want to, but they just fold right back up there, and you can leave them like that. Without that, he'll stand a lot more straight, so that's what I've been doing. So as far as articulation continued, the legs go all the way back to there. They go just as far forward, and that should be it. The toes, like I said, don't articulate. The mane, nothing. But they did leave the mouth articulation there, so you can open the mouth to show that off. He has a waist swivel, and that also, this does have. If you guys can see, I hope you can see that. There's the same thing that MMC had, which is like that waist rotation mechanism for moving. You can move some of the kibble around and whatnot, and they left that on this as well. So I mean, it's almost an absolutely direct knockoff. They did a fantastic job. And the nice thing is too, is I was worried at first because this piece is attached to the waist, and I was worried that because it plugs in down here that it would cause issues when we did the waist swivel, but it doesn't, because you can move it along with the waist. So that's a really cool touch, and I'm sure that's exactly how the MMC one was. But he's not hollow. The plastic quality is amazing. The ports are all really strong. They're fully ratcheted, just like they were on the MMC one, which is not what we get with a lot of the other OS combiners. So that's a really nice thing. All of the ports are actually really good, but we'll get to that more in when I put him into his torso mode. So we're going to transform him into his beast mode now. Okay, so we're going to go for transformation in this guy. Lift up this flap right here. Just fold that in. Take the paw, and you can flip that down. And I'm not really sure if that goes like this yet, or exactly how it goes. The head. So you pull that out. There's no articulation on the mane, as you can see. Doesn't really do anything. It does allow you to move it back and forth so you can like look his head around, but that's about it. So all that really does is comes back over here and covers that up. You can move these guns out of the way. It kind of makes it a little bit easier. All you have to do is pop it out. So once you pop that out, then it allows the leg to be more of like a lion leg. And then you can fold this down and twist the arm around, and then you got the front end of the lion. So if you lift this up and kind of just hold it up here. I got this tip from Bobby Skullface's video on the actual ones. And you just kind of hold it, and you rotate on the waist. And you kind of hold this in place. It tends to move still a little bit because it's tight. But if you rotate that, now this is still in the back, and we can fold that down right there. The other accessory that comes with him are these hilt pieces for the sword, but they can combine to each other underneath him in his lion mode for storage. Oops, I have that the wrong way. And you put them in here like this, and then they just snap together, and then they just kind of fold under there like that. We just kind of fold that toe down and push that up. Now, the heel spurs I've already put in because I don't use them. So the legs collapse just like that, and that's, when you have them all the way up when you're at that screw hole right there. They have some pegs in there, and these two peg together. This pulls out. This also untabs right here. You rotate, fold that, and then that's the back end. The shield has a port area right here, and that matches up with this. So you just have to take it and line it up, and then that pops right on there. So the tail goes in here, and it should go right here. Yep. Okay, so there's the tail. So here he is in his lion mode. So as far as articulation goes in lion mode, his head can move from side to side. Not a ton, but that's about it. Same thing with the jaw. The jaw will come down. The legs have nearly the same articulation as they did in robot mode because they're essentially still the arms. You can move them out, but now they have, so they actually have toe tilt in this mode. Same thing with the back legs. The back paws will tilt. So these back legs, though, will move back and forth, which is pretty loose on this. It's not terrible, but for the weight of this guy, this is pretty loose. They also bend here, and then they have the articulation on the foot. The tail will do one of these guys, so you can straighten it out, do whatever you want. It locks in place, which is kind of weird, but that does that. And he still has waist articulation, but it's not really useful in this mode. So that's pretty much it for articulation in, oh, well, the guns too. The guns, just like in robot mode, are articulated. And you can move the flaps on this as well too, but that kind of goes for every mode as well. So that's pretty much it for articulation in his beast mode. So now we're going to transform this guy into his torso mode. The first thing I like to do is collapse these guns because they get in the way if you don't. Then I like to remove the shield, which takes a little bit of playing. You get that out of the way. And then since this is used for the combined mode sword, you can just take that out. That doesn't need to be there. Rotate it first. Get that there. It's tabbed in. Rotate this around. And there's his legs. We want to rotate these combiner ports down. And those aren't super tight. The other ones are really tight. But this is that's nice on that. Hold this here and rotate, rather than holding it up here and rotating. So we hold it there, we rotate. Now we want to try and split these again. So we split these, get them out of the way, because they don't do anything except for in the sword now. So now we're going to take this lion head and we're going to pop it back up this way again. And we're going to leave it as far extended as possible so it's not in the way. And this panel, which is already a little bit loose, is going to lift up. Get the guns out of the way. And then we'll rotate this back into here. And then that's it for the combined mode head. We got it out now. There's a tab here on this arm piece. And then there's a port right there. And these are going to combine just like that. And then what I do is pop this combiner port down and rotate that just like that. And that's it for the arm. And then the lion head, just like in every other mode with this one, doesn't have any articulations. So you don't have to fold out any of the what is it, the mane. We can leave it like this for now, and just kind of get this on here, and then that's pretty much how it's going to look, just like that. But now if we extend him and pull the legs down, just like when we're doing in the shield mode, you can separate it like this. And then, rather than rotate it, we want to get this to pop out. So there's this piece right here, and that will extend all the way down. There's a piece in here that rotates up. There's that piece right there. And then that will plug in right to there. And then it kind of gives him a longer crotch plate, which kind of helps fill it out so when he's in extended mode, it doesn't look ridiculous. So to get him with his legs looking a little bit less straightforward, that is him in his torso mode. Similar to in the beast mode, there isn't too much articulation to talk about here. The legs have the same articulation as they did in robot mode, minus the feet. This can articulate in and out, and you can also pop these pieces out to allow them to articulate outwards. That's pretty much it as far as that's concerned. The knees will bend here, so all these combiner ports do move. You know, they're tight, but they move well. The lion head, he keeps the same articulation. The head is also on a ball joint. He can look up and down. He has a pretty good range of motion. And then the guns also articulate. But as far as the torso mode is concerned, that's pretty much it. Everything locks into place well. And he feels really sturdy, surprisingly. I wasn't expecting that out of the KO. I've heard that he's an extremely solid torso when it comes to the MMC one, but luckily they did a really good job making him the KO almost as good of a torso as the MMC one, even though he's massive. So now we're going to get this into the robot mode, and we'll do some size comparisons so you guys can see how tall he is. Alright guys, so we are going to do some size comparisons now, just so you guys can see how he stacks up against some other MP style figures. So we have here Megatron, or X-Transbot's Apollyon. So he's about a half a head taller than him. So that's pretty cool. That's a good scale. They were meant to be huge, so I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And then just for another size comparison for the actual MPs, we have Optimus Prime, MP10. So, I mean, that works really well. I think as far as quality-wise, he's pretty much right there. You add some wrist swivels to him and some better hands, and this guy is, as far as I'm concerned, he's as close to an MP, a KO is ever going to get. So final thoughts on Leodux. His thumb broke. That sucks. I'm not too worried about it because they're going to be bringing out another set of hands that are articulated. At least they said they're going to. I don't know if that was for individual modes because the information's kind of out there, or if that's only for the combined mode. I'm really not that worried about it. But as a standalone figure, this guy's fantastic. In the grand scheme of things, after you get the entire set and he's $150 shipped, he is $25 for Leodux by himself. So you can't go buy a Hasbro product as good as this for $25. Period. The paint is a tiny bit dodgy, but other than that, he's lost a little bit of articulation from the original MMC mold. He's fantastic. It's almost identical, and when you add him to the entire set, which you'll see hopefully soon once I can get all these videos done, they're phenomenal. If you're at all on the fence about the set, you can wait if you'd like to watch the rest of the videos, but just based on this one figure alone, I would totally do it. He's great. He's worth it. So go out and get yourself this set if you can. I'm going to probably tell you the exact same thing throughout the rest of the videos because they're all that good. I got it from Sir Toys. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.